Did you find the Zepho?
Only faint traces of their passage, heading deep into the unknown regions.
Sorry to hear that.
As it goes. Ultimately, that failure inspired me to seek out other Jedi survivors. That search led me back to my old apprentice. We mustn't keep Sio waiting. How have you been faring, Cal?
That doesn't sound good.
I've had a few scrapes, but I'm still breathing.
And I'm glad for it. I heard some news about a Jedi terrorist on Coruscant not long ago.
You were on Coruscant? Well, the Mantis looks like it's seen better days.
You should see the other guys. Space is well hidden.
Yes, well, the Empire's presence has grown these past years. They are much too strong to fight directly, but we do what we can. The archive is this way.
You don't want to keep Seer waiting, do you?
Can't get through.
Coming, Cal.
Don't you want to see Seer's archive?
It is critical, of course, that our work remains secret.
What work exactly?
Better to ask Seer yourself. Meanwhile, Marin and I will greet our new arrivals. So, how was the desert?
Cold, stormy, and too many Imperials.
Not my preferred weather forecast. But more common by the day. Where did you weather the storm?
A cave past the old market. Our Spammel friend showed us the way.
You've a habit for making new friends wherever you go.
A survival instinct, perhaps.
I intercepted some Imperial communications. Your reputation is growing.
Was there fear in their voices?
Quite a bit, yes.
Good. How are you feeling?
Better. That tea you brought me was wonderful.
Reese must be in the kitchen. We'll meet up with him later.
Master Cordova and I will wait for Grease. Go speak with Seer.
Just keep trying. It's not like Brother Armai is to break contact. Cal Kestis. Welcome to Jeddah. I knew the storm wouldn't deter you.
You're rebuilding the temple archives.
We're trying. As long as this knowledge remains, the legacy of the Jedi survives.
It's incredible. But something tells me there's more to this than just holobooks.
Yes. We're a part of a network, known as the Hidden Path. We provide safe passage and new identities to those who have been persecuted by the Empire.
Hunted by the Empire, like Jedi survivors?
Very few of us remain. But yes, and Force sensitives, and those who help them.
Why didn't you tell me?
You never asked. Besides, I hear you've been busy making yourself the Empire's most wanted.
I wanted to prove to the galaxy that the Empire isn't invulnerable. That you can resist. That you have to fight if things are gonna get better. But then they just listen to the propaganda and they pretend they're free anyways.
You chose a hard path.
And it hasn't made a difference.
Well, while the Empire's trained its eyes on you, we've been able to build the network. Find allies. And save lives.
When you left, I thought you'd just given up. I was wrong.
Cal, you were just a child when they sent you off to war. You know, there was a time when I remember that the Jedi were more than just weapons. But we both have our roles to play in this struggle.
Yeah, but that's why I'm here. Seer.
Will you get a load of this? Hey, Seer, you can't say it ain't short of personality, but kind of creepy, though.
Well, it's good to see you too, Grease. Well, hello, BD.
Okay.
So, how was your time in the desert?
The storm covered our tracks, but the Empire destroyed one of your speeders.
It's a small price to pay for everybody's safe arrival. And who's this?
This is Bodo Kuna. He's a friend.
It's so nice to finally meet you.
This hunk of trouble. Hey, we're all together. Huh?
Yes. Now, what brings you all to Jeddah?
We're searching for a lost planet. Tanalorr, you ever heard of it?
It's on the other side of a deadly nebula called the Kobo Abyss.
Well, our archives are far from complete, but I'm sure Master Cordova is up to the task.
With pleasure.
The trouble is, we're not the only ones looking for this place.
I knew this was sounding too easy.
The guy's name is Dagan Gera. He was a Jedi. Now he leads a band of raiders on the Outer Rim. There's an old temple there. Dagan intends to reclaim it.
A Jedi temple out of the reach of the Empire could mean that there's information there that we don't have in the archive.
I believe I have something. Oh, you're too kind, BD. I'll start with the bad news.
Oh boy, this guy knows his audience.
I found no information related to crossing the Kobo Abyss. However, I found 2 mentions of this Dagan Gera. He had a retreat on Kobo, and records show him frequently visiting a laboratory on its moon.
Okay, we'll check him out.
If you find anything, bring it to me. I am happy to assist further.
Thank you. Both of you.
You're welcome, Cal. I hope you find what you're searching for.
May the Force be with you.
And with you.
I will escort you back to the Mantis.
So you're not joining us?
I cannot.
Focus.
The spirit withers before the force of others. Didn't the first tract say, the life force blooms?
Perceptive.
They're completely incompatible.
We seek universal truth, brother. If one tablet says withers, and the other says blooms, neither is universal, by definition. So we ask, what do they have in common?
What do they have in common, brother?
That you ought to be reading them. No more dithering.
Another scroll.
I suppose you have both studied Oyson's lemma?
Yes, sister.
Indeed, sister.
Then perhaps you will explain to me the paradox of the fifth book.
Oyson explores the antinomy of enlightenment. It's a paradox about the inevitability of cycles.
Explain.
Enlightenment is defined as cycle breaking. But, per the canons, to be enlightened is to suffer the cycle. The more we strive to break the cycle, the more we embody it. But in accepting it, we become enlightened, thereby breaking the cycle.
Indeed. And what do you make of this?
I think the meaning is clear. You can't reason your way to true enlightenment.
Ah, the lemma has confounded scholars for centuries, but to you its meaning is clear.
Well...
Recall the canons. There is no truth but the truth of all things. There is no knowledge but the force of all others. Brother, perhaps you should revisit the fifth book. And while you're there, revisit the preceding books as well.
Yes, sister.
If I have to parse one more Talayan scroll...
Don't forget what Sister Task says. Behind every good archive is a good filing system.
Inspiring.
Have you visited the Temple of the Kyber, brother?
Many times.
I've been reading about it. It's written that visitors often see themselves in the visages of the Kyber statues within.
In a different age, we could visit the holy city, witness it fully.
In a different age.
We suffer the cycle of a force of others. Ever it passes.
Glad you didn't have to fly through that storm. So, how's it feel to be piloting the Mantis again?
Like being home.
Then why the long face?
It's been too long. My pilot instincts are all off.
I know how hard it is trying to relearn skills you put to the side.
I guess so, huh? Still, I regret ever walking away from the Mantis. Keep thinking I'm gonna slip up.
You walked away when you needed to. I know you'll pick it back up in no time.
Okay, okay. You're a good friend, Cal.